Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and when we went to break, I was talking with Dorian Webb, who is a designer and creator of jewelry. And I was about to ask her about that. I understand that you are one of the six designers nationwide and was selected for the 2021 Emerging Designer Diamond Initiative. Matter of fact, that is so interesting. What is that all about?
Yeah, so the Emerging Designers Diamond Initiative is a program that Lorraine Swartz, the jewelry designer to the stars, has started. And she started this program in response to what happened with George Floyd and just, I think, a greater awareness, growing awareness of needing to find not only new voices, but just to have greater representation of minorities in the jewelry industry. And some of the things are what we kind of talked about before, that there were just, when I was starting, that there were no, I didn't have any mentors because there was no one there were very few African Americans in the jewelry industry. And those who were really weren't given a platform. So it was her idea to kind of harness her celebrity talent and to really build an audience for, not actually build an audience, but just give a platform to minority designers.
And a lot of your design is focused on women, is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And why is that?
Well, I just think that women are just so beautiful and do so much and are often overlooked. And I just want to do my part to kind of to change that. So the things that drive me are really showing women how beautiful we are. And then also celebrating African American heritage, our community, and that the beauty of connection.
And what do you, if anything, that you design that relates to home decor?
I also design chandeliers and
Chandeliers?
Yep, yep, Venetian glass and semi-precious chandeliers, and some of my chandeliers actually were on a museum, a 7-year museum exhibition.
No. Explain that.
Yep.
What is a 7-year? It went for 7 years?
Yes. Yep. To various museums throughout the United States. It was a show that was focused on the African American aesthetic and how that was demonstrated through polyrhythmic art. So art that has, I think it's funny. I think that one of our gifts as African Americans are our ability to kind of process things on different levels, and I think that's what makes our art so interesting. That's what makes our music so interesting. That's what that kind of the foundation of jazz. Also just the background of rap and what we do in visual art is very similar. That there's all these different colors and textures and layers of things going on that somehow come together. It's like we take these little bits of nothing and then weave them together to turn them into these great operatic pieces of art.
And this is, I assume, something that attract people to, that they're in your design. It's done in a way that people want to see it. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think that there's always something that you can get from it because it is operating on a few different levels. With my jewelry, a lot of them I call them intentional pieces because there's meaning behind them. So I will use coral to kind of represent the singular beauty of women, or I use butterflies when I'm talking about Black Lives Matter and the whole idea of hope and those sort of things.
And you have designed for some rather famous people. Can you talk about some of those people?
Sure, sure.
Let's talk about some of them.
Yep. So I've done pieces for Oprah Winfrey, who has also given my jewelry as presents for for during the holidays. I've also done a lot of work for stars who've been on the cover of magazines like Halle Berry, Vivica Fox. Just a lot of African American women who you would know of.
No, no. How did they discover you? I mean,
Yeah, through a variety of ways. Many of them discover my work through stylists who work with them, either their personal stylists or stylists from magazines who are excited about my work and share it with them. Some of them discover me through Instagram, for example, which is also kind of interesting. Will send me messages and
what if a person right here in the Bay Area want to get in contact with you? How would they do that?
Sure. Well, I mean, you can always look at my website, which is www.dorianwebb.com. And you can also reach me through my Instagram, dorian.webb as well. And I'm opening up actually a new shop, so people can always make appointments with me. And I do a lot of custom work as well. So a lot of the pieces are not only things that I've designed, but that I've actually worked with clients to design to come up with something that's unique to them.
Miss Dorian Webb, our own designer and creator of jewelry, is with us. We have to go to break, so don't touch that remote. Don't even think about it. Matter of fact, just put it down. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and I'm speaking with Dorian Webb. We'll be right back.
If you've been asking the question, who am I? Who am I? Why am I here? Listen, you're right in line. Confusion is all over the land today. I mean, people are asking that question. I asked that question, but I found the answer was in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's right. When I said, Lord Jesus, if you're really real, just let me know. I tell you, that was the beginning of a brand new life. It'll be for you as well. You could just say, Lord Jesus. I guarantee you, He'll answer you. I guarantee you, He'll change your life.
Sinkler Miller Medical Association, founded in 1968 by Dr. William Sinkler and Dr. Rudolph Miller. The organization was formed to improve the health care of African American and other minority people in the Bay Area. Sinkler Miller Medical Association offers annual scholarships to high school, nursing, and medical students who are African American. Presently, Sinkler Miller Medical Association has over 160 members. Sinkler Miller maintains its commitment towards the betterment of the field of health, education, and welfare. For more information about Sinkler Miller and scholarships, contact Sinkler Miller today at 510-863-4560 or visit our website at www.sinklermiller.org.
Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris and I'm speaking with Dorian Webb. Dorian is a designer and creator of jewelry. And I was just noticing, Dorian, that beautiful piece around your neck. Could you describe that?
Sure. So this piece actually is one of my latest pieces. It's done with 18 karat gold and diamonds. And it is it's my monogram for my business, but I'm also offering it so that people can use their own initials and kind of I work with clients to come up with like interesting positioning of their initials, because a lot of times initial jewelry just uses like one letter, and two letters is a little unusual because it's basically exponentially so much more difficult to kind of to have all the different kind of combinations in stock, but because everything is made to order, because everything's made by hand, then it's a lot easier to do those kind of variations. And I think it's important also that that the pieces are kind of like a statement piece. And again, my work is really about being intentional and kind of claiming your space and making your mark. And so a lot of ways I think that those ideas are reflected in initial jewelry that uses both your first name, your letter from your first name, and as well as your last.
Now that is certainly interesting. You also indicate that jewelry exists solely to make you feel good.
Yep.
Now, explain that. I mean, sometimes when I pay a lot for something, jewelry, I guess I do feel a little better after a while. My wife feels quite happy.
Yeah, you see.
But what do you mean by it's designed to make you feel good?
I think that's the beautiful thing about jewelry.
And does it really make you feel good?
Yeah, it does. I mean, and I think it's not. I think it's one of those things that it's not in any way necessary. I mean, no one needs a necklace. Nobody needs earrings or bracelets or anything else. But it's something that we go to centuries, after century, because it's one of those things that we derive some pleasure from. That having something that's beautifully crafted against your skin is wonderful and it's luxurious. And I think that when you overlay that with things that connect with other people, it just becomes a whole different level of kind of jewelry and experience. That not only is it bringing you pleasure, but it's enabling you to connect with other people that maybe you wouldn't otherwise have anything in common with, or you wouldn't have a way of kind of starting a conversation.
Okay, starting a conversation. So in other words, I look at you and I see those different earrings, and that can start a conversation. Is that right?
Yep. And that for me is what it's all about. I mean, every time I travel, no matter where I am, like when I wear this ring.
And what is that? That is fascinating.
Yeah, so this is a coral ring, and again, that comes back to the idea of women. For me, being represented by the idea of coral, which is, kind of like the hardest working organism out there that's often overlooked and not really thought that much about, and that it's so recognizable, and that even in its various iterations, that you could always recognize it as being coral and being beautiful. But I just came back from Thailand yesterday, actually, and even when I was there, people would stop me on the street and ask, "Oh, did you get that piece here? Where did that come from?" And then I would explain to them about the story behind it, which would also lead to some of the other pieces that I do, like I mentioned, like Black Lives Matter and other things. And so those are conversations that otherwise I wouldn't really have the opportunity to have.
Now, you do some training in women in business, is that right? What do you, I think you mentioned it earlier, but what specifically do you do?
I do. So I do business consulting, mainly for women-led companies, not only in the jewelry industry, but other industries as well, and just really help them on branding and just the fundamentals of starting a business, because we all know we know the statistics of how many businesses fail, and within 5 years it's 50%, and just to do with it all that I can to make sure that those women-led businesses are not going to be in that unfortunate half.
And I understand that you are actively involved in the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. Why?
I am, because I think that, especially under the leadership of Kathy Adams, that the chamber really just does so much for not only the business owners who are involved with it, but for the Oakland community itself. I mean, I think that one of the reasons that Oakland is the vibrant city it is because of the type of businesses that it contains. And to go through what we have gone through, collectively as a nation for these, last 18 months, even more than that now, it's really, really important that we are able to keep businesses thriving. And a lot of that has to do with networking and supporting one another. And I just think that all of those things are things that the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce does magnificently well.
And that's a good mouthpiece for the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, of which I am a member of the board. As a matter of fact, I even act as general counsel of the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. We've got to go to break. Don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, just put it down. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris, and I am your host.
I've been doing business in Oakland for about 5 years now. My name is Dorian Webb, and I'm the president of Dorian Webb Lifestyle, and I'm a designer of jewelry, home decor, and fine art. And I was drawn by the vibrancy of Oakland and all that Oakland has to offer. There's also just a sense of community in Oakland that you just simply don't find in other places. I was thinking about opening a new business. I would absolutely recommend Oakland. It has everything a business owner would want. It's close to major markets. It has an incredible networking opportunities. The workforce is really well educated, super creative, and there's a sense of community and heritage here that you simply don't find in other cities.
My name is Robert L. Harris, and I am your host. Welcome back to All About Community. When we went to break, I was speaking with Dorian Webb, who is a designer and creator of jewelry. Absolutely fascinating, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to her explain the importance of jewelry and especially how it makes you feel. In my view, it makes you feel good, like a black man and black woman should. How's that?
I like that.
But finally, we were talking about how do you contact you? Could you give that information again so that the viewers will have no confusion as to how to get in contact with you?
Sure, absolutely. So you can contact me at DorianWebb.com, and you can also find, that's my website, so www.dorianwebb.com, and you can also find me on Instagram, which is dorian.webb as well. I would love to hear from you. I do a lot of custom pieces and would love to work with you for something, special occasions, or just something that you would like to create for yourself, to have to not only for yourself, but to pass down for generations.
And remember, it's going to make you feel good. Finally, can you explain your expansion into the creation of the fine works of art on paper? What does that mean? Sure. And how does that work?
Sure. So I, during the early part of the pandemic, I was particularly struck by the idea of protea, which is a flower that grows in abundance here in the Bay Area. And it's a flower that is also particularly resilient. So for me, that idea of resiliency just connected with the pandemic and kind of what we were going through. And I incorporated those images into a project that I was doing called the Marriage Project. So it was kind of an examination of marriage, again with the idea of resiliency and the things that you go through as a couple, and representing them in two-dimensional form. It was really important to me, and it's also interesting that the protea is a flower that is basically older than mankind, and started actually in and also thrives in South Africa, which is the cradle of mankind, where we all began.
Indeed, we did. Now, do you have any final comments you'd like to make since our time has come to an end?
No, I just think that, again, that jewelry is something that makes you feel good, and then it's just so wonderful to have fun with it, but also realize that it can be intentional too, and that it's a way of connecting with other people and a way of connecting with your community.
And remember that jewelry can be a way of connecting with your community as well as making you feel good. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but again, Ms. Dorian Webb, let me thank you for being my guest here on All About Community. And I am going to personally encourage, I don't have to do too much encouraging, my wife to come and contact your website. And I know that it's going to hurt me, but I'm going to, hey, I'm going to feel good because you promised I would. No matter what you do, when you do it, or how you do it, in the final analysis, it's still going to be all about community. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest has been Dorian Webb, designer and creator of jewelry. Thank you very much for joining us.